Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be ranking all of Taylor Swift's albums. I am going to be doing a video soon where I'm going to be ranking every single one of her songs, but I figured this might be a good way to kind of like preface that since it's a much smaller undertaking, because ranking her songs is a lot because there's a lot of them. So this ranking is going to be kind of based off a combination of everything, based off of the music, like what I think of the music, the quality of it, the aesthetic of the era itself, just basically everything. And these are just my opinions. I'm not saying like this album is better than this album, but just that I prefer these albums like over other albums, you know? So don't get mad if you don't agree with my ranking, because this is my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, especially when it's something like music. Like, you can literally think whatever you want about music. If you don't like Taylor's music, which I don't know why you'd even be here if that's the case, but if you don't, like, that's fine. Like, I don't have anything against you. But yeah, so let's get into the video. Alright, so I'm going to be starting at the bottom and working my way up to the top. So in 10th place, we have Debut, Taylor Swift. And this one, I'm just not that into country music. Like, I don't have anything against it, but I'm just not, like, obsessed with country music, you know? I'm definitely more of, like, a pop person. Not that it's not a good album, because they're all good albums. I love them all. This is just the one that I happen to love the least. So next up, this one is going to be really controversial, but in 9th place, I have Red. I know a lot of people love Red, but I don't know. Like, it's a really good album, and there are songs on there that I absolutely love. Like, The Lucky One is, like, one of my favorite songs ever. I love that song so much. There's just a lot of songs that I don't love on Red. It's still a good album, but I feel like the vault tracks, some of them are like better than the regular ones. It might just be because I'm not as familiar with the vault tracks as I am with the other ones. But yeah, so Red actually has a decent number of skips for me, so that one is not my fave. Next up is Folklore, and this is probably gonna be controversial too. I don't know. I just don't really vibe with Folklore as much. Like, if I'm gonna listen to something chill, I definitely prefer Evermore. I don't know. Folklore, like, the lyricism is really good. It's just not my taste, I guess. Not my cup of tea. I don't dislike it. Again, it's just not something that I'd normally actively go and choose to listen to. Next up is 1989. I do like the music on 1989, but the album itself, just listening to it is hard for me, just thinking about like that era as a whole and like where she was mentally. So I'm really excited for the re-recording so that I can kind of associate some new memories with that and not visualize 1989 era. But the album itself is honestly really good. There's a lot of tracks that I feel like people don't appreciate. Like, 1989, it's like so overrated that it's underrated, if that makes sense. But yeah, good album, just not my favorite era. Okay, next up is Midnights. And so Midnights, I don't know. I really enjoy it, but it's just not like my favorite. Like, there's not really, the album as a whole doesn't really like stick out to me as this like amazing thing. Like, there are individual tracks that are good, and the album itself is really good, but it doesn't really stand out to me as like this huge like overarching like this is the best thing she's ever done, because like, I don't know, I feel like she's done better. The songs aren't bad, they're just, I don't know, not as good as some of the other ones, I feel like. But I don't dislike it. I think she did a really good job. Yeah, I hope it gets album of the year at the Grammys, because that would be really cool for her to get 4. But yeah, so number 5, I have Fearless, and this album, I don't know, there's just so many tracks on here that are like so underrated. Like, Hey Stephen, I love Hey Stephen. The song's just really special to me because when my little brother was really little, he used to have me sing him to sleep every night, and that used to be our song. Like, I would sing Hey Stephen to him, and it was just so cute. And so just because of that memory, I just really love Fearless, and it's just so much fun too. Like, I don't know, it's like not too country for it to be not to my liking. Like, it's the right mix of like country and pop, if that makes sense. Number 4 is Reputation. So I feel like Reputation, people either love it a lot or they completely hate it. But I don't know, I think it's really good. It's just, I feel like there's not really any songs that I skip on it, like ever. Like, I can listen to the whole thing and like vibe like the whole time. It's a really fun album, and I love the fact that like on the surface it seems like it's like this edgy, like dark thing, but really it's like just this little love album for Joe. But yeah, so I really like Reputation. I think it's really fun. All right, now time for top 3. So these 3 are all like really good, like top tier, like amazing. So number 3 is Speak Now. I love Speak Now. I love the aesthetic of it, just like the princessy, like fairy tale type thing. Just so many songs on there that I love. Long Live is one of my favorite songs ever, and that's on there. I love Long Live so much. It literally gives me shivers every time I hear it. I don't know, something about that song is just magical. And then Speak Now, the song itself, is so fun. It reminds me a lot of I Write Sins, Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco, which is just kind of funny to me. And I feel like the whole album itself kind of fits together really well. Yeah, so Speak Now is number 3. And then number 2, I'm assuming you guys probably figured it out, is Lover. So I love Lover, and I know a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's just such a fun album, and just the fact that like she was having so much fun while she was making it just makes me so happy. It's such a happy album, just upbeat, and the fact that it's just like about love in its entirety is so fun. And I don't know, like the songs themselves I feel like don't stick out to me as much, but I feel like the whole thing just fits together so well. And that was my first release, like as a Swiftie. Like that release made me a Swiftie. I literally listened to the album like when it dropped, and that was the first time I've done that for any album ever. And I've listened to all her albums like the second they drop ever since then. So just I think the nostalgia of it, and just the fact that she was so happy when she made it, just makes me happy. Now my number 1 album, as you guys probably figured out or probably already know, is Evermore. I love Evermore. Like, there are not words to encompass the amount of love and admiration I have for Evermore. Something about Evermore that's just so much better than Folklore and so much better than all the other albums. I just love the storytelling aspect of it because I'm a writer myself, which, my child. But yeah, I just love the whole storytelling, and I'm a fan of like darker-ish stuff, you know, like I love like happiness and like rainbows and unicorns and everything, but like I also love a good murder mystery, like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like literally my favorite. And Willow, of course, you guys know Willow is my love in life. I love Willow so much. There are not words to describe the amount of love that I have for Willow. Willow is my favorite song, always will be. My favorite Taylor Swift song, my favorite just song in general. I could never get tired of Willow, like ever. I love it so much. I tend to go through phases where I'm like obsessed with certain things. And so first it was dinosaurs, then it was Harry Potter, and now it's Taylor Swift. But when I was in my Harry Potter era, like that was my whole personality, was witches and magic and everything. And I just love magic. It's always just been like, I don't know, my favorite thing to like write about or read about. But I just love magic so much, like just the idea of it and witchcraft and everything. Like we're reading The Crucible in AP Lang, and I love it so much because like witch hunts and everything, like literally love it so much. But yeah, so when I watched Willow and there's that scene, I was like, oh my gosh, like my mom literally looked at me and she was like, she made this for you. And I was like, oh my god, she did. But like obviously she didn't make it for me. Like I know that. I don't have like some like superiority complex. But like just the fact that like something that was previously so important to me and like still is so central in my life was able to connect with something that is like currently like my big obsession. Like, just the fact that that, like, almost has a little invisible string, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so just that. Evermore is definitely my favorite album. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And comment down below more video ideas you have or your ranking of Taylor's albums if you want. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!